Hello everyone and welcome to October. Can you believe that we are already in October? For our October filet crochet square, we are going to work up this cute little ghost. As always, I just used a 4-weight acrylic yarn in white, as well as a 4.5 millimeter crochet hook, but you can use whatever yarn weight and whatever corresponding hook that you have been using for these squares throughout the year. If you're new to filet crochet, I will link a how-to filet crochet video down below, so check that out if you're confused by any of the terms or techniques that we are using in this video. Quick note about this pattern: it can be a bit flexible as far as working these blocks for the mouth and eyes. If you would prefer to just have an entire ghost without the face, instead of working these blocks for the mouth and the 2 eyes, just work a space. So instead of 4 double crochets here, you would have a double crochet, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next. So you'd be creating spaces instead of those blocks. So without further ado, let's move right into October's filet crochet tutorial. To start, you want to put a slip knot right on your hook. And we're going to start with a chain of 48. Once you have your chain of 48, we are going to work a double crochet into the 4th chain away from the hook and into every chain all the way back. So as you can see from the graph, row 1, reading right to left, all shaded in squares, which means all blocks, which means all double crochets. So you're going to find that 4th chain away from your hook, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just work a double crochet into that. Those 2 stitches count as double crochet, so you have that turning chain on the end. That will always count as one of your double crochets, and then where you worked into the 4th chain away from the hook, that is your 2nd double crochet. So you're going to keep going and working a double crochet into each stitch all the way back. At the end of row 1, and at the end of every row, you should have 46 total stitches for each row, always counting that turning chain. For row 2, we're now going to be reading the graph left to right. We start off with 1 block, so every row starts with a chain 3 and turn, and that chain 3 counts as your first double crochet. We need 1 block, so I'm going to work a double crochet over the next 3 stitches. There's our first block. We need a space, so we're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next, and that gives us our space. We need 1 block, so I'm going to double crochet over the next 3 stitches. So we have block, space, block. Next we need a space, so we're going to work our chain 2, skip 2 stitches, and double crochet into the next. We need 7 blocks. So to work your 7 blocks, you're going to double crochet over the next 21 stitches. After working those double crochets over the 21 stitches, we now have a space, chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet into the next to create your space. We have a block, so we're going to work a double crochet over the next 3 stitches. We have a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next. We're ending with a block. You should have 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, including that turning chain. You're going to work a double crochet into each of those last 3 stitches to complete your last block for row 2. You should have something that looks like this. For row 3, and if you've noticed, every odd row we're going to be reading the graph right to left, and every even row we read the graph left to right. So row number 3 we're reading right to left. It is all shaded in squares, all blocks. So we're going to start with a chain 3, turn. That chain 3 counts as your first double crochet, and you're going to work a double crochet over each stitch all the way back. So you should have a double crochet over the next 45 stitches to give you a total of 46 stitches, and to complete row number 3. When you're working through or into the spaces from a previous row, I like to go into the actual chain stitch instead of the chain 2 space, just to make it a little bit more finished. But if you are used to working into those actual spaces, then that works as well. So 1 double crochet into each stitch all the way back to complete row number 3. For row 4, we're now reading the graph left to right. We're going to start with a block, so we need to chain 3, turn. That counts as our first stitch. We're going to double crochet into the next 3 to get our first block. We now need 1 space, so we're going to chain 2, skip 2, 1, 2, double crochet into the next for our space. We now have 7 blocks to work, so we're going to work a double crochet over the next 21 stitches to get our 7 blocks. After those 21 double crochets, we need 3 spaces. So we're going to work our chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 3 times. So there's once, we'll do that again, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next for space number 2, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next for our 3rd space. We now need a block, so 1 double crochet over the next 3 stitches. And a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next, ending with 1 block, so a double crochet over the next 3 stitches. Always remember to work into the top of that turning chain for your last double crochet in each row. That is row 4. As you can tell from this graph, it is very important to read the graph in the right way. So, like I said before, every odd row we're reading right to left, and every even row is left to right. There are some graphs where they're mirror images of each other, and so reading the graph right to left or left to right doesn't matter as much. But in a pattern like this, where it is not a mirror image from that center of your square over to the left and over to the right, you really do have to be careful about which row you're on and which way you are reading the row. For row number 5, we're reading right to left. We're going to start with a chain 3, and we have 3 blocks to start for row 5. So we're going to work a double crochet over the next 9 stitches. We now need 5 spaces. So we're going to do our chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 5 times. Now we have our 5 spaces. We are going to end with all blocks for row 5. You can see all of those squares are shaded in. We need a total of 7 blocks, so you should have 21 total stitches left for row number 5. We're just going to work 1 double crochet into each of those 21 stitches to complete row 5. For row number 6, we have 6 blocks to work. We're going to chain 3 as always and turn, and you're going to work a double crochet into each of the next 18 stitches to create our first 6 blocks for row number 6. Because this is an even row, we are reading the graph left to right. So a double crochet over the next 18 stitches to get your first 6 blocks. Next we need 5 spaces, so we're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next a total of 5 times, and that will get us our 5 spaces. We are ending with 4 blocks on the end, so you should have 12 total stitches to work into. You want to work a double crochet over the next 12 stitches to complete your 4 blocks and row number 6. For row number 7, we start with a chain 3 and turn. We need 5 blocks to start, so you're going to work a double crochet over the next 15 stitches. Next we need 5 spaces again, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next a total of 5 times. We end with 5 blocks for row 7, so work a double crochet into those last 15 stitches. For row 8, we're reading the graph left to right now, so chain 3 and turn. Row 8 starts with 4 blocks, so we want a double crochet into each of the next 12 stitches to get our 4 blocks. Next we need 6 spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next a total of 6 times. After those 6 spaces, you should have 5 blocks on the end. Work 1 double crochet into each of the last 15 stitches to complete row number 8. For row number 9, we're reading the graph right to left. We start with 5 blocks, so chain 3 and turn, and you're going to work a double crochet over the first 15 stitches to create your first 5 blocks. We now need 6 spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 6 times to create your 6 spaces. We're ending with 4 blocks, so you should have 12 stitches left. You're going to double crochet into each of those last 12 stitches to complete your 4 blocks and row number 9. For row number 10, we are reading the graph left to right. You're going to want to start with a chain 3 and turn. Row 10 starts with 3 blocks, so you want a double crochet into the next 9 stitches to create your first 3 blocks. We now have 8 spaces to work. We're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 8 total times. We end with 4 blocks to complete row 10, so you want a double crochet into those last 12 stitches for your 4 blocks and to complete row number 10. For row number 11, we start with a chain 3 and turn. We are at the halfway point. We need 4 blocks to start, so we're going to work a double crochet into each of the next 12 stitches to create our 4 blocks. Next we have 8 spaces. We're going to work our chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 8 times to get our 8 spaces, ending with 3 blocks on the end, so a double crochet over the next 9 stitches to complete row number 11. For row 12, we're reading left to right. Start with a chain 3 and turn. We have 2 blocks, so we need a double crochet into the next 6 stitches to create our first 2 blocks. We now need 10 spaces, so we're going to work our chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 10 times to get those 10 spaces. To end row 12, we have 3 spaces on the end. We're going to work a double crochet into those last 9 stitches to complete our 3 blocks and row number 12. For row 13, we chain 3, reading the graph right to left now. Turn your work. We start with 2 blocks, so we're going to work a double crochet over the next 6 stitches to get our 2 blocks. We now have 12 spaces. So we're going to work our chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next a total of 12 times. After those 12 spaces, you should have 3 stitches left. For your last block on the end, work a double crochet into each of those last 3 stitches to complete row 13. Row 14, we start with 3 blocks, so we're going to chain 3 and turn. You're going to want a double crochet over the next 9 stitches to get those 3 blocks. We now have 2 spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next twice. There's once, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next twice. We now have 3 blocks, so we're going to work a double crochet over the next 9 stitches, working into those chains from our chain 2 spaces from the previous row. We now have 3 spaces, so we're going to chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 3 times. for our 3 spaces. To finish row 14, we have 4 blocks on the end, so a double crochet into each of the last 12 stitches to complete row number 14. For row number 15, we start with 5 blocks, so chain 3 and turn. You're going to want a double crochet over the next 15 stitches to create your first 5 blocks for row number 15. We now need 6 spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, and double crochet into the next 6 times. Ending with 4 blocks on the end, so we want a double crochet into the next 12 stitches. For row 16, we're reading the graph left to right. We start with 4 blocks, so chain 3 and turn, and work a double crochet into the next 12 stitches to create your 4 blocks. We now have a space, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next, and a block, so a double crochet over the next 3 stitches. And a space, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and a block, so a double crochet over the next 3. Two spaces, chain 2, skip 2, double crochet into the next 2 times, ending with 5 blocks, so a double crochet over the last 15 stitches. And this completes row number 16. Row 17, reading right to left, we start with 1 block. So chain 3 and turn, and you're going to work a double crochet over the next 3 stitches to create that first block. We need 1 space, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next for your space. We need 3 blocks, so a double crochet over the next 9 stitches. 6 spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next 6 times. Two blocks, so a double crochet over the next 6 stitches. One space, so a chain 2, skip 2, double crochet in the next, and ending with 1 block, so you should have 3 stitches left. Work a double crochet into those last 3 stitches to complete row number 17. For row 18, we're reading the graph left to right. We start with 5 blocks, so chain 3 and turn, and you want a double crochet over those next 15 stitches to create your first 5 blocks. Next we have 4 spaces, so chain 2, skip 2, double crochet over the next 4 times. you should have 6 blocks or 18 total stitches left at the end of this row 18. So you're going to want to work your 6 blocks, so a double crochet over the next 18 stitches to complete row 18. Those are rows 1 through 18. Now row 19 is going to be the same as row 2. I know row 19 is an odd and row 2 is an even, but they are worked in this very same way. So repeat row 2 for row 19, and row 20 is just all double crochets, so basically a repeat of row 3 or row 1, where you just chain 3, turn, and work a double crochet all the way back, total of 46 stitches. Then you can fasten off, weave in your ends, and you will have the ghost square for our October filet crochet square. I'm going to go ahead and work rows 19 and 20 off camera, and I will be right back. The October square finished. I went ahead, worked those rows 19 and 20 off camera, and here it is. Super cute, worked up fairly quickly. Another great square for our 2024 crochet calendar blanket. I hope you enjoyed this October square. I'll see you in November, everyone. Until then, happy crocheting. Bye.